Foreman Bolsk's been shot. Somebody get a medic. Somebody get a doctor. We need to take care of him. He's gonna die. Last time on Lost Legends of Scadrial. The well-roasted dusters, Beladora specifically, were informed of a labor dispute that had been going on for a couple of weeks in the roughs town of Morlain's Crook. The other reason is, I think, heavy embezzlement on Quince's part. And so I want to hit him where it hurts.
In his pocketbook?
I totally just want to play 3 Days Grace, Let's Start a Riot in the background, and start a riot.
See, that was part of my idea. I would love to, start a riot at, the house or something while us three go burn down his storehouses.
Oh my god, I love burning things down.
Should we gather some more information on the storehouses?
There is a very small office, and it has a safe.
Is there anything else in the office of note?
There's a couple of papers on the table, mostly missives coming from Elendel, talking about trying to get the trade routes open as quickly as possible, giving concessions that Quince would be able to give the workers. It mentions a coin purse that they sent along to try and meet some of those demands.
Yeah, all of the planning's gone swimmingly so far. I just can't help but feel it's all gonna go biscuits up once we actually get this thing rolling.
And it's in this moment of poignant silence that a gunshot rings out, and suddenly Foreman Bolsk falls over, bleeding from the chest.
Hold on, that was not part of the plan! That was not part of our plan!
Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Legends of Scadrial Mistborn Adventure Game Podcast. I'm your host and narrator, Trevor, and with me we have the rest of the Lost Legends.
I'm Lena, I play Beladora Wilde.
And I'm Zach, and I play Finnigan Bomon.
Alright, let's jump back in. You guys were in the middle of this protest where Foreman Bolsk was supposed to meet with Foreman Quince, and suddenly a shot rang through the air, and Foreman Bolsk fell to the ground, blood spreading out across his shirt from his chest. As soon as you guys both turn your heads, you notice that Pinch is nowhere to be seen.
Little bastard.
There's quite a lot of things going on right now. I don't know which one to focus on.
Oh god, I think he's dead!
I'm just hanging out.
I'm gonna
He tried to shoot me!
I'm gonna run towards where the gentleman was shot.
Save the foreman!
I'm gonna kind of push my way through the crowd, and as I'm doing so, I'm going to start rioting senses of outrage around me.
Yeah, we are 3 days gracing.
Go ahead and give me an Allomancy roll.
Okay. That is...
I know it's been so long you have to remember what those rolls are.
How do you play this game? Okay, that was nothing except for 2 nudges.
Okay, you can spend those 2 nudges to re-roll all the rest of your dice.
Alright.
I love that rule.
That was 2 threes and a nudge.
It's a really nice house rule. I'm glad I played that game at Gen Con. Okay, 2 threes is just enough. I set the difficulty a little bit higher just because you're going to be moving through the crowd and you don't have the effect crowd stunt. And so, but since you managed to get the 3s, what ends up happening is that it's kind of like a wave where you start in the back of the crowd or wherever you were before, and as you slowly move forward, while your allomancy stops affecting the people who were behind you, all it's really done is heightened their sense of outrage that was already there, and so they're staying at that heightened sense, and as you keep coming forward, it's like, what's it called? A wick. Or not a wick, but a fuse being lit at one end of the crowd, and it just keeps on building and building, hissing faster and faster until you get to the front where the foreman has been shot, and behind you there is just chaos and noise as people are screaming and shouting and just losing their minds.
I wish you could see just like the absolute smug satisfaction on my face right now.
Good thing you got those threes.
Yeah.
Finn, as he's entering into the crowd, he's gonna kind of say, "Everyone out of the way! Get out of the line of fire!"
Okay, and there haven't been any shots since that first one was fired, but as soon as you say that, people do start to disperse a little bit, but they're still just very, very angry, so what ends up happening is like there's just a little personal space bubble as they spread out a little bit instead of being so milled in close together.
But I'd like to try to get to the gentleman who was shot and pull him. Can I tell where the shot was fired from?
Give me a wits roll.
Okay, wits, I believe it's a 4. It is. Okay. 2s.
You have a general sense of where the direction is coming from, but you can't discern any possible points specifically where the shooter might have been. You get the feeling that you have two choices, like with what you've got, since you don't know where it would be, is you can head in that direction or you can abandon any idea that you'll find the shooter.
I don't want to try to find the shooter. I'd like to try and get to the person who was shot, because Finn doesn't know he's dead. He's going to try and get him out of the danger zone, pretty much.
Okay, Bella, why don't you give me a wits roll as well?
Okay. I'm not a smart woman. 2 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. You get the impression that you know a general area where it might have been, but looking out across that direction, you can't pinpoint any specific location. So you've also got that same feeling where I can go now and possibly make this happen, or it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm not terribly concerned about pursuing the shooter.
Okay. What would you guys like to do next then? Finn, you're rushing up to him?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll probably just hang back and watch what Finn does.
Okay, we'll get to Finn in just a moment. Bella, as soon as Finn leaves to go up, you feel like a tugging at or a hand on your shoulder, and you look over to see Maxil, and he's got a very serious look on his face, and he says, This is the time, right? We need to make this happen now if it's ever going to happen. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think this is as good a time as any.
All right, my boys are ready. We're going to get this crowd, get them moving. Where do you want us?
I think it'd be a pretty prime idea to storm Foreman Quince's house.
Yeah, he nods and he disappears back into the crowd. And at the very edges of your hearing, above all of the noise and shouts of anger, you hear Maxil and a couple of other people calling for attention. And you look over and you see people just kind of tossing pieces of paper into the air across the crowd in large stacks that they flutter up. And some people grabbing them, and then a little quiet going over that group as they read over it. And then their shouts start again, angrier and louder. As loud as any of the people who had been affected by your allomancy, since this group was too far away to be affected by that.
Yes, good.
Excellent.
Good. Chaos.
Finn, you run up and lean over. There's a couple of people leaning over Foreman Bolsk, but he's actually up in a seated position right now. Although he's covered in blood, he's taken his shirt off and he's got a knife out that he's pushing to his chest. And over the next couple seconds, you watch as he fishes around until you hear a metallic tink, and he kind of flicks the knife and a bullet falls out and the wound closes back up.
Well, that's quite a handy trick.
Are you saying that just in general or specifically to him? Because you're kind of like at the edge of a crowd.
I am saying that in general.
Okay. Are you going to do anything with him, with the crowd here?
You know what? I think Finn would just kind of be like, okay, he was coming to like get this dude to safety, and he's fine. So Finn's going to be a little bit dumbfounded at the moment because he was focused on just getting people to safety at first, and now he's just like, well, what the hell was I doing?
You know what? I will jump kind of into the action and rush to Quince's, oh, no, not Quince, Bulsk's aid, and just kind of like rush over and be like, oh, darling, how are you doing? Are you okay? Where did they shoot you?
Okay, as you're running up, he's kind of getting into his feet, and you, I imagine like you put a hand on his arm or something similar to that, and as soon as you do, you see Fullman Quince storming up, and he looks very enraged, and he pushes a finger into Bulsk's chest, almost where the bullet wound was, and he says to him, "How dare you? What are you playing at? You set me up. That shooter was obviously aiming for me, and you wouldn't have put yourself in danger, any danger that you couldn't heal from, so what gives here?"
Darling, just throwing this out here, but, you weren't the one who got shot, so I don't think you have much room to talk here.
The only reason I didn't get shot was because he hired a lousy shot to kill me.
I'm really struggling to see your logic here.
Well, I didn't order a shooter on him, so what else could a possible explanation could there be?
And what reason do we have to believe you?
I don't have to explain myself, but needless to say, this man will be prosecuted and will face the full extent of Ellendale law.
I'm going to kind of...
walks... what? Go ahead, Zach.
I would like to, as he's saying this, I'd like to kind of put my arm on his shoulder, and it's like, well, maybe your mob connections decided to do the dirty work for you without your permission.
Give me a... I'm not sure if this would be influence or charm.
Since I'm already
if I'm trying
rioting.
if I'm trying to intimidate him in the process, could I make that a physique roll?
If you make it a physique roll, I'm going to give you a -1 die penalty.
I'm okay with that.
I was also going to see if I could riot his fear as Finn is talking.
Yeah, give me a rioting roll.
All right.
Do you want me to make my roll as well?
Let me double check your traits. I know that you did a lot to make it so that way your character wasn't intimidating. So I want to make sure that you're not, that you're getting all of the detractions for that.
Gotcha.
2 3s and a nudge.
Okay, yeah, he'll get, go ahead and make it an even roll then for the, because I'm not seeing, I thought it was unassuming muscle was one of them.
That's my character concept. That's my character concept.
Okay. Oh, the feature is stronger than you look. I would still think that, like, since a lot of your fear would come from looking strong, that would be negative. But with the riding roll, it cancels that out anyway.
Instead of putting my arm on his shoulder, could I put my hand on his shoulder and kind of give him a sense of how strong I actually am?
Go ahead and burn 10 charges, and I'll allow that.
Okay.
And then you can make this roll at +1 for the rioting.
Thank you, sir. That is 2s and a nudge.
Okay, let me roll his spirit.
Bye.
He got a pair of 3s. He gives a short little whistle, and you feel an immense hand on your shoulder, and it squeezes. Go ahead and give me a spirit roll.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Okay, you feel a sharp spike of adrenaline shoot through you, and as you turn your head to look at this hand that's on you, you see very, very large blue fingers, And as you follow the hand up, you see the suit, and then you see the very large Koloss that is standing behind you with a hand on your shoulder.
Oh, well, top of the morning to you. How are you doing? Oh, not much of a talker, eh?
No touch.
No touch. No touch. I got that. I got that just fine. Could you also no touch?
He slides you over a little bit before letting go.
Right. Well. Oh. That did not go quite as planned.
I think at this point, Fulman Quince is going to step up next to the Koloss and kind of follow directly behind him as he pushes his way through the crowd and towards the direction of his manor. And then let me do a influence roll for Maxwell. You see an incredibly large crowd of people start to follow Fulman Quince as he leaves. Just pretty much everybody in the area.
Well, Finn, I think that's our cue.
Definitely, Bella. Looks like we've got a riot.
Honey, with me on your team, you've always got a riot on your hands.
I should have seen that coming.
That's the better episode title.
Well, I
Riot
try.
on your hands. That's what I'm going to put.
Okay, well, I think we skedaddle on over to the
Warehouse.
You
guys head over there. You take it a little bit slower just because you want to give time for it to work the way it's supposed to. And sure enough, by the time you get there, there's been somebody who's in the uniform of the guard that's been patrolling in the name of Fulman Quince runs past you. And about the time that you're getting close to the warehouse, you see the same man running the other way. And he's got 5 or 6 people following behind him. And so you see down at the warehouse that there is just one guard sitting at the front of the door.
Just a quick reminder. Did I, when I was searching the warehouse previously, I'm pretty sure I looked for one, but did I actually find an easier entrance into the warehouse?
I feel like there was another entrance. I can't say if it was easier, but... Oh, hello, my cat is screaming.
That is awful. Oh my god.
She's just very sad. She's very lonely, and she has the object permanence of a baby. Yeah, she usually does that yowl whenever, she's realized that nobody is paying her immediate attention.
Oh no.
There it is again. But she's fed, she's had her treats and everything. She should be fine. She's just a drama queen. Oh my god, please. Please.
I never get offended when I hear animals in other people's podcasts, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So to reiterate what I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. I'm pretty sure that there was another entrance that we found, or that Finn found. Not necessarily easier, it was probably through a window or something, but I'm pretty sure he didn't just walk through the front door. Or wait, no, maybe he did, because he was unassuming.
I did just walk through the front
door.
Yeah,
played into that, where he fits right in.
Yeah, well, forget everything I just said. Maybe he didn't find another entrance.
I'll just play into it again if I can.
So let's say that there are 2 entrances. There would be the front door where this guy's guarding. I mean, not necessarily the quote unquote front door, but the main employee entrance. And then there would also be the large doors out by the canals where you would load in the cargo off the boats.
Would you say they normally require multiple men to open, and that's why they're not guarded right now?
Yes, I would say that a normal person would not be able to open them without help. And so
I'd like to open them.
No reason to guard them.
Without help.
Normal person.
Yep, I'd like to open them, please.
How many dice do you want to use, or do you just want to roll for it?
I'd like to roll for it.
Okay, difficulty is going to be pretty high.
Okay. Okay, that is 4s with a nudge.
4s does it. You kind of walk up to it and crack your knuckles. Or would you like to describe the scene?
Well, you started it off beautifully. So I'm going to crack my knuckles. Do a little bit of stretching beforehand. And I'm going to put both of my hands on the door, try and make a little bit of a lip. And just kind of... And I'm making that sound as the door is making that sound.
Okay.
Come on, darling, we don't have all day.
Oh, do you bloody want to do this?
No, I might break a nail. Are you kidding me?
This resting door is huge. It's not that easy, even for me.
I mean, you were the one with this bright idea. I was just gonna run over to those solitary guy working the front.
Just shut up,
and
I've almost got it. I've almost got it.
A fire or something.
The door's open.
Oh, so it is. Good job, Finn. And I pat him on the side of the face.
And I'm going to say that it's less that the door is open, and it's more that you've bent the metal inward enough that there is now a human-shaped opening in the door. The next twist in the Finn versus door saga. He puts a door in a door.
So first things first, once we're in the warehouse, I'd like to get a look at that safe that I found earlier, but didn't have the chance to actually peruse the contents.
Okay. How are you planning on getting inside the safe?
By breaking the door.
All right. This one is going to require charges and a roll.
Yes.
Let's make it 3 charges. You can spend 30 charges, and you can spend above that to get extra dice if you want to.
I'll get myself at 1 extra dice using 40 charges.
All right. Difficulty is at 2.
That's 5s and a nudge.
After the strain that was the door, you kind of had your pre-workout warm-up, and you put one hand on top of the safe and press down, and it sinks the safe into the floor. And then you put another one on the handle, and you just give one swift tug, and it kind of makes a small furrow in the floor before it finally catches, and then the door just pulls off in your hand, and the safe is open.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought that one would be easier.
Well, when you use magic, everything's easier.
All right, what's in the safe?
Inside, you find large amounts of money. There's more of those letters that you found detailing how he had been authorized to pay out money, and reparations and improve things, and how it's a more complete detailing of the cliff notes you had. Showing how corrupt that this guy was and how they could have been given everything they were asking for, but he just wasn't going to do it because of pressure from the mob. And at the very bottom of one of the letters, which is from the mob, detailing specifically what he was allowed to give and what he wasn't, in opposition to what he had gotten from Elendel, it's marked with a C that's been stylized to look like a crescent moon.
Does that mean anything? As far as, would that be something either of us would recognize as having some kind of symbol of significance, like being connected to a specific person?
No, it has no meaning to either of you.
Yet.
At this juncture, I would like to note that Bella is very casually stuffing her bustle with bundles of money.
Okay, go ahead and put your put a -1 for your resource.
Sweet.
And I'm just gonna look to Bella. Well, Looks like we're getting paid for this job.
Looks like it.
Is there anything else that you guys wanted to do around the warehouse?
Is there any other point of interest besides the safe? Otherwise, we're just going to torch it.
There's various goods inside of the warehouse, whatever was left in there when the strike started. And a short distance away are where the boats would normally be unpacking. You see that those are all full of cargo waiting to go into the warehouse. It's various things. Sometimes it's just raw materials sent back for refinement. You notice in one area there was a shipment of food that started to rot because it's been there for so long. And just all sorts of goods, think Amazon warehouse inside of here.
Anything useful?
What are you looking for?
Anything explosive or that can be sold
Give me
for
a spirit
large amounts
roll.
of money. Oh, God. Nope. Not a thing.
No, you think that you might have found possibly like a couple of base ingredients for gunpowder, but nothing that would be particularly valuable or immediately explosive.
Okay, fair enough.
Is there a collection of, say, rarer... Is there anything that would distinguish it as like a more prominent goods section as far as like luxury items or equipment?
Give me a wits roll. Add +1 for being a dock worker.
Heck yeah. Oh, that one's cocked. That's nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. The organization is by destination and not by specific like good type, so you can't make heads or tails of where things might be.
I'm a little bit disappointed. This is the first time I've failed 2 rolls.
Womp womp. And Bella already took all the money.
I know. Okay. Well, yeah, let's torch it.
Let's torch it. I have a really good idea for what to do with that poor fella up front.
Knock him out or blow him up? Because you could go either way.
No, I was just thinking about how funny it would be to just like pop the front door open and then poke my head out holding a stick of dynamite.
Is the fuse lit while you're doing this?
I mean, well, I was gonna hold it like a match close to it, but I don't really want to hold a lit stick of dynamite before I'm ready to throw it, you know?
Where's Pinch?
Well, yeah, that would be... that would be...
Yeah, where's Pinch?
That would be smart. But, okay, whatever you want to do with the guard. I mean, he's just probably following orders like everyone else.
I just really want to see the look on his face.
But if you want to mess with him a bit, I mean, I'm not going to stop you.
All right, I'm going to go do it.
Give me a charm roll. Add 1 for your beguiling smile.
Okay, how many dice is that? Oh my
That'll
god,
be
I wish
7
I could
dice.
count. Oh, that was one fewer than I was gonna, or one more than I was gonna roll. That is unfortunate. 2 1s and 3 nudges.
That's good enough. I mean, when you're holding a stick of dynamite, it doesn't matter what you're saying. Go ahead and describe this scene and embellish as much as you want because those 3 nudges give you complete freedom.
Okay. So what I'm planning on doing is just creaking the front door open and peeking my head out, just real sweet like, and like holding my stick of dynamite up and my match just so that I'm primed and ready to light the fuse. And I'm going to give him just the most angelic smile that I can possibly muster. And then say, "Hey, hon, if I were you, I would start running right about now."
He is gone in an instant. You see his eyes widen, a quick dart from left to right, and back left again, as it goes from the match to the dynamite back to your face, and then just quick as he can, flying down the path.
Okay, I'll go back to Finn and be like, all right, he's gone now.
Okay, now it's my turn to embellish something crazy. What if we lit the stick of dynamite? Like our sticks of dynamite. Lit them, and threw them in, and then walked away from the warehouse without looking back as everything explodes.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I thought that was implied.
You can't imply narration, Trevor.
Well, take it away, Zach.
Okay, so while Bella's having her fun with the guard, Finn is messing around with the dynamite, trying to find the best possible place to put it. He finds, I'm guessing there are like support beams for the structure of the warehouse themselves. Yeah. What I'd like to do is I'd like to fasten a stick of dynamite to those support beams, if I could, before lighting it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got sticks of dynamite. You've already cleared out the warehouse. You got all the time in the world.
Okay, stick of dynamite, put it up. Bella comes in with her stick of dynamite after she's messing with the guard. We do the same thing to a different support beam. We each separately light our separate collections of dynamite. And then we leave out that big door that I made.
Okay, that is heading towards the river, though.
That is head. Okay, so just go out.
It'll be in the opposite direction of where the rest of the action is going.
Never mind. Then we'll just go out the door that she already just cleared out, and then we'll put on our sunglasses as the warehouse explodes behind us.
I'm sorry, but Bella's the only one with formal wear in her equipment, so.
Okay, I'll just tip my hat down so you can't see my eyes.
Perfect. Make it the album cover. I love it. Any fans out there who are pretty good at drawing, I'm just saying this is a perfect scene to illustrate.
Saying.
You guys walk out the door casually. Bella, you pull out a pair of glasses that are darkly tinted, put them on your face just as Finn pulls the cap down over his eyes, and then there's a freeze frame as the building explodes behind you in a jet of flame.
Yes!
Where would you like to go from here?
Well, we've started a riot. We've blown up a warehouse, thus crippling their operations.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you, Finn. Right now, I could really go for a drink.
Bar?
Bar it is.
Bar.
Okay. You show up to the bar where you've met with Maxwell just a couple days before. I don't remember exactly how long it was. But there is actually nobody inside, although the door is unlocked and you're able to get in easily.
No bartender?
Okay. No, everybody's been caught up in the riot.
I helped myself to the bar.
I'm gonna jump over the bar and slide over it like Starsky and Hutch style.
Okay.
Our city now.
Maxwell knew your price when he called you.
And I am going to attempt to flare bartend myself a drink.
Okay. Give me a physique roll.
That's 3s and a nudge.
Bella, give me a spirit roll.
All right. If you insist. 2 4s, baby!
Finn does a very passable job of flair bartending. Bella is still not impressed.
Is she impressed by anything?
Obviously not. I mean, she pulled 2 4s on a roll of 2 dice. So.
What do you say we find a prime seat outside and watch just everything burn as we enjoy our drinks.
Oh, darling, you're reading my mind. Let's do it.
All right, so you guys leave the bar. I imagine you take one for the road. Seems like the right mood for that.
We take several for the road.
All right, you guys head up the path, and you see outside of the gates where the mob has been just angrily like assaulting the walls. And you see a couple of pillars of smoke rising from inside the grounds, not from the manor itself, but just where people have thrown things that have been on fire over the walls that they can't get in. At the very front of the gate, on either side, you see Foreman Bolsk, who is clinging to the top of the gate. He's got an arm outstretched with a pitchfork in it, and he is yelling angrily, obviously given himself over to the mood of the night, trying to encourage everyone to act and stop the craziness that has overtaken their livelihood. On the other side of the gate, you see that same Kolos with his arms crossed and an angry look on his face, but other than that, he looks perfectly placid and unmoving. And you kind of get the impression that they are able to get over the wall if they want to, but as angry as everyone is, they just don't want to.
They're angry, so they don't want to go over the wall?
Well, they're angry enough that they would, but they're with Mr. Friendly on the other side of the gate. Nobody has gotten advantage
gotcha.
to actually start the assault on the house.
Gotcha.
Come on, people. He's one guy.
I mean, we did our job. Oh, come on. Do we have to start this too?
Well, there's still plenty of liquor left back in the bar. We could set some more fires.
Whatever happened to those Molotov cocktails?
I think Pinch took them.
Oh. Where did he get to?
Well, I don't know. Where does he go at any point in time?
That's valid. You know what? I am imbibed with liquid courage at this point. I'm going to I'm gonna go through the crowd, jump over the wall, and open the gate. Actually,
okay.
No, I'm just gonna walk up to the gate and open it.
Okay. Do you want to roll for it, or do you want to spend 20 charges?
Let's roll for it. And I'm gonna kind of grumble as I'm doing it, like, you call yourselves rioters? Look at you just standing outside the gates. Here, let me help you a little bit. And that is 4s and 2 nudges.
As you start to pull the gate open, a hand reaches forward and grabs either side of the gate and squeezes, and as hard as you pull, you do not feel it budge.
Can I punch the Kolos hands and yell no touching?
Yeah, give me a roll of physique roll, add 1 for your specialty being close quarters combat.
Okay, and I'm adding some charges to this.
How many would you like to add?
I would like to add 20. So that is 9 dice. Yep, that's 5s and a nudge.
He got 5s and 2 nudges. So what's going to happen is you're going to punch his hand, and he will release, and the gate opens, but it's just wide enough for his other hand to snake out and punch you right in the chest, and it sends you backwards, and it bowls over about half a dozen people behind you. Because of your armor, you're not going to take any damage, but he then reaches forward and grabs the gate and pulls it close again.
Oh, come out here, you blue-blooded, rusted nerd! And Finn is just going to go on a tirade and just get himself riled up because that just happened and it was embarrassing.
Is Bella allowed to step in at this point?
Sure.
All right, so all of this talk about riling people up and rioting has, it's point taken, basically. So she's going to grab as much liquor as she can, as many bottles as she can possibly hold, and stash in her bustle, and she's going to start going through the crowd and handing them out, telling people that they can use this either as courage or as gasoline, whatever their preference. And then she's just going to fling a bottle at the Kolos guy.
All right, give me another charm roll +1.
Okay.
And that's for the skillful manipulator.
+1.
Man, that roll really grinds my gears.
That is 2 4s and an edge.
Yeah, sorry, Zach, but it's hard to go up against a Kolos with physique and win. I mean, you did outdice him with that. His physique is 8, but... Okay, so Bella, you're handing these bottles out, and as you're saying this, pass it to one, and you say liquid courage, and he takes it and immediately starts drinking it, and you pass it to another, and you say, it comes in handy in a fight, and he rips a piece of his shirt off and stuffs it down the neck of the what's it called? A bottle. The neck of the bottle. How did I remember a neck but not bottle? Anyways. And he grabs a torch from somebody next to him and he starts to light that. And you go around this mob and you're kind of the anti-Wayne bartender. Whereas he in Shadows of Self was going around mixing people's drinks, trying to help relieve the stress just a little bit and diffuse the situation.
I love that scene, by the way.
Exact opposite. You are going around and you are bringing everyone into just a firestorm of a fervor. People are just downing these bottles before throwing them at the gate where they shatter against it. Your bottle's the first one to hit it, and it splatters with all of the liquor right into his face and soaks through his tuxedo, but he still stands there placidly. But within just a couple of minutes after that, people start climbing up the walls and start rushing as quickly as they can towards the manor. And that's when you guys notice the plume of smoke coming from the manor, and you start to see the lights flickering in the windows as the manor slowly catches more and more on fire.
That's my boy!
Yes! Now, this is the anarchy we were looking
looks
for.
Behind him, and he sees the manor on fire, and he looks around, and he looks down at his suit that's now covered in liquor, and he almost he looks more human than you've seen him at any other point as you see him sigh, and then he starts to walk off, unless you guys want to do anything. He's just going to start to leave.
I'm okay with him going. He's been rolling better than me.
He is...
I don't know. He's been rolling better than you. Maybe I'm looking for a replacement.
All I'm saying, he's a little more flammable right now than he normally is. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'll let him go.
If he's walking off, I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay, so how I see the rest of the scene playing out is Bella saved back the best bottle of liquor that she could find. And you two go and find a nice cozy spot where you get to watch the fire in 2 different areas. And as the night goes on, the manor is just burned to the ground, nothing but ashes. And the crowds have gone and swept over every single building that wasn't privately owned, that wasn't one of their own, and picked everything clean. And there was a second warehouse, and they broke into that, and they stole everything from the warehouse and distributed amongst themselves. And come morning time, the town it looks like it's a complete disaster, but you can see looking over it that none of the people's houses themselves have been destroyed, and none of the public areas where it would have been beneficial to them, like the public parks or anything like that, all of those areas have been completely left untouched. But the areas where the corruption had been taken is just completely wiped out. But
yeah.
Well, Finn, is this quite what you had in mind?
Well, it's pretty close, actually, yeah.
Is it really? I thought that you wouldn't be quite down for all of this wanton destruction.
Sometimes wanted destruction is warranted.
Well, I can definitely see the appeal in that.
And then there was a but.
But when morning comes, there is still no sign of Pinch.
Where did that boy get off to?
Yeah.
Should we just leave him?
Oh, that's your call.
Well, I mean, he just started following me around. If he's seen fit to go off, follow some other person around, then that's no skin off my back.
It has been awfully quiet.
It has. It's kind of nice.
Bella is stone cold. All right, so after you guys get around in the morning and come out, Maxwell comes up to you and he's got a big smile on his face, and he I don't know what level of familiarity you had with him, but I imagine either like a pat on the shoulder or a hug, whatever the relationship was before that you guys had gotten to. He gives you that, and he turns to Finn and he nods his appreciation towards Finn, and he basically just tells you that it was complete success and that it's everything that he had hoped for.
Well, if you ever need somebody to call on for explosions and utter chaos, you know who to come to.
Just don't let the rest of this go to flames. You still have a business to run, you hear?
We've still got the one warehouse, so I think we can make it work. But with all of the evidence that you provided us, we're going to get Fullman Quince ousted, and maybe we can get some real leadership here. Maybe we can get Foreman Bolsk to take it over. Somebody who actually knows what it's like to be one of us.
I feel like he'd be just the man for the job, Maxwell.
And not very easy to assassinate either, so that's a plus.
Couldn't have worked out better for us, that's for sure.
Still don't know who tried to shoot him, though.
So that wasn't you guys?
No, that was not us.
Maybe it was Pinch.
Pinch was standing next to you at the time that it happened.
Semantics.
Well, I'm glad that it wasn't you guys, because I don't know, I just had this thought, but then I didn't think that how you would have known he was a blood maker, and so I'm just relieved. I mean, it's a pity that we weren't able to catch them, but everything else went off just perfectly. There's no way that Ellendale can ignore this now.
Absolutely. Now I've just got this conspiracy theory running through my head that Pinch did in fact become a god and went back in time to instigate that.
Pinch was not the shooter. Let me shoot that one down right here, right now. Pinch was not the shooter. I had no choice in that happening. So if folks at home, if you'd like to know who the shooter was, go out and purchase a Mistborn adventure game Masks of the Past supplement from Crafty Games.
But we all know that it was Pinch. It's alright, Trevor, we know.
It's too late. It's too late. It's in the headcanon.
And I think that's where we're going to call it for tonight.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
A couple quick announcements before we leave you guys tonight. The Crafty Games Mistborn Metal Allomancy Dice Kickstarter is nearing its end. They have unlocked 3 of their stretch goals so far, and so on top of getting the Mistborn Metal Allomancy dice, you also get a set of Alloy of Law dice and Ferrochemical dice, and if they meet their final stretch goal, you'll also get a set of Hemallurgy dice, and so that'll be 80 dice instead of the 60 that you're getting right now. It is a little bit expensive, but, at least go check it out. Take a look at how well made these dice are. I got to hold them at Gen Con. They sent me a couple of the dice that were factory previews, and so, just rolling these dice is a pure joy. I'm so tempted myself to splurge the money and get them So just at least go online and take a look at the Pretty Dice, because they did such a great job on this. It is ending soon, very soon, so if you are interested, you do have the money for that, I would suggest taking a look sooner rather than later. The other announcement I want to make is that we are going to be taking a 2-week break when we would normally drop our next episode on December 26th. I have actually gotten permission from Anthony, the DM over at the Adventure Incorporated D&D podcast, to instead guest host the Patreon episode that I was a part of for Adventure Incorporated here on our feed. I'm very happy to be able to bring you this episode. I think that the guys over at Adventure Incorporated are absolutely wonderful. They're so much fun. I listen to them every week as soon as I can when the podcast comes out. They're my favorite podcast to look forward to, and we're going to be having Anthony on the show as soon as we can get schedules aligned and find a good time to do a one-shot or something else like that. We've got a lot of other great plans in store for the podcast in the future. We've really had so much fun doing this, and we really appreciate you guys tuning in every week. We're really happy to see that so many people are enjoying us, and if you do enjoy us, spread the word. Leave us a review on the podcast provider of your choice, or shoot us an email. Come join us on the Discord. We'd love to talk to you about the show, talk to you about Brandon Sanderson. We've got our own little creme posting thread on the Discord where I share silly Brandon Sanderson memes that I come across, and we have a lot of fun there. So in the meantime, we'll have that special guest episode from Adventure Incorporated, and then we'll be back again with our regular episodes in 2020. So we'll see you next year, and until then, happy holidays. Thanks for listening. Mistborn and all related properties are owned by Brandon Sanderson and Dragonsteel Entertainment. The Mistborn adventure game, the Alloy of Law supplement, and the Masks of the Past supplement are owned by Crafty Games. Special thanks to Steve Argyle for letting us use his artwork for the logo, and to Boardroom Design for putting the logo together for us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and YouTube at LLOS Podcast, or join our Discord community. We hope that you'll give us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever podcast provider you use. And make sure you tell a friend who loves Brandon Sanderson. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time.
Sounds like
it was just you've been talking about it the entire time we've been recording, and this is the first time I've heard it.
Yeah, she's been pretty well behaved so far, but
I couldn't even imagine that sound.
This is going to make really great post-episode material.
Oh my goodness.